This project was a labor of love, and I say that because it was a pain in the ass from start to finish, but I knew that going into it, so come along with me. First, I start out on the miter saw to cut the pieces to the right length that I need, and that'll make it easier to do the next step, which is planing. I get the boards all nice and smooth and flat, and then I can cut them on the table saw. And I had to cut many pieces on the table saw. It was 60 individual pieces of wood, alternating between yellow heart and sapele. The next step is very important. I mark all of the pieces of sapele so that when I make my alternating pattern, I don't get them mixed up. Next step, after a quick dry fitting to check all my jointery, is gluing. I turned these 60 individual pieces of wood into 5 panels. Then I take those panels over to the table saw so I can cut them into perfect squares. Next, I go over to the miter saw and cut the squares into perfect octagons so that I can stack them in the pattern that I have planned. Now I glue all the panels together to make the final block. I use my tactile measuring tool called a rotomatic to center the faceplate on the blank. The next part is the most fun, turning. So I get it mounted on the lathe and I start it by roughing it out and getting it round. And then I use my finer tools to do the shaping. Then I move along to scooping the whole bowl out. And this part was mighty tricky, honestly, because the kinds of wood I used, I didn't realize had a pretty wide range in their hardness. And so the chisels I was using were trying to gouge and tear it out. And I had to use a small 1/4 inch wide tool called a parting tool so that I didn't accidentally break or mess anything up. But I was able to get it done. It just took a little more elbow grease, and I ended up with something that I am very proud of.